Hello, my name's Andy and welcome to the garage. This is my next restoration of Corgi Toys, Corgi Major Bedford tractor unit with universal machine carrier, both a bit play worn, paint's long gone in some places, looks like it may have been retired at some point. It's a while since I've done a large commercial, so let's get this on the bench and take a look at it, shall we? Here we are with our tractor unit and trailer. Tractor unit, some scraping on the glass, but it's going to be alright, it's good all round. Both side mirrors, that's good. Cracked tyre, cracked tyre, cracked tyre, and a flat sided tyre there. You can have a flat side on a circle, you can now. Looks like it may have been apart before though. Look. Rivets not quite out. Let's have a. No, I have to drill that. Ah, yeah. Look, didn't spot that before when I bought it. There's a nail in there. Right, put that down for a second. Somebody's had a go at that. 4 tyres on this. Not looking bad. Original paint. This little clip at the back. If I pull that, that comes out. You go flat to drive on your unit, whatever you're putting on there. It's in black. 4 tyres, but not originals. These 3 look the same. This is a different tyre. So we've got a couple of tyre issues. Never mind. These look the same, but maybe these look okay, but maybe not the correct ones. So let's get it apart, shall we, and take a look at what we've got. And we'll start off with this car. Right, the first thing I've got is a pair of pliers to get hold of this nail that's hanging here. There it is, it's in the back book. Now, I'm not sure why that was put in there. We don't need it. Probably the only thing holding it together. Put that straight in the bin. Got a nail in my van tyre the other day. Yeah, that was holding it together. Somebody had it apart. Let's take the tyres off. Well, that one's quite crusty. I don't know if you heard that, very brittle. That one certainly is. That's not much better. So from starting to think it was retired to being totally misleading. Axles, wheels pinned on. That'll come apart nicely. That's the original post. I've got a bit of cabbing here. I think we probably lost a steering wheel at some point there. Just push that out with your fingers. Out come the mirrors and the glass, and that's apart. Nice easy one. And got to take this one off at this side. Yeah, both the same side from the looks of it. So I'll get the multi-tool ready. And for once, quite a bit to play with there, and that one's off. Go. Axles look reasonably good. Bent on that one. Let's get those into there. It's all okay. That can go in the caustic. Not bad. Back to one side now. Just clear the decks. Let's take a look at this, shall we? Does this need to come off for painting, I'm wondering? Two rivets are holding that clip in, and it also holds this in. Now that looks pretty shallow. At most you've got that depth, which is a lot, but I'm not sure. Could you paint it without taking it off? You could. Have to think about that. Two rivets holding this on at this side. Let's just take they're quite soft, which makes me think they're not the originals. Came off far too easily. I think we do have to take this off if we want to paint this a different colour. It'd be difficult to mask. So let's get a punch on there, shall we? And we can get a small drill. Oh, not a lot to play with there. Not a problem. Not a problem. Not taken or seen one of these taken apart before. Right, get a bigger drill on that side straight away. Okay, we've got a 5mm drill. That side's done. Hanging on by a thread. And it's off. If I made that hole there, I'll be able to fill that quite easily. And we may be gluing that back down. There's the post for the tyres. It's quite tiny. We'll put that in there. So I think we can glue that back on and maybe fill those. Just leave them as they are, to be honest. Right, that's for the caustic. So's that. Now, decision time on here. This will come off easy, and I think it's going to be very similar to this. We'll be able to glue it back on. So without having seen anybody else do this, there are some holes there. I'll just take this drill and see if those holes are big enough. Now, we'll put the small drill back on, just get them a bit bigger. Right, here we go. Right, let's get a screwdriver on there, shall we? See if we're good. Good on this side. bit more on there. And we're off. I took it off in the end. Lots of muck down here. It's like a safety pin, doesn't it? If I needed one. And that went in like that with the pointy end up. They just come out. That can go in the caustic soda as is. Let's take a look at our rear. Let's take the rusty tyres off that, look. I might have to get the axle off there before I can get those off. And that looks like it'll need a puller. Here we are with the parts of our commercial. Now the cab, first glance out the caustic, doesn't look too bad. Glass got a few scratches, it's not going to be a problem. Lost a steering wheel, could repair that quite easily, or I think I may have a donor in inside. Trailer's okay, quite tidy. Wheels for the cab are okay. Now I put the wheels for the trailer in the bag so they didn't get mixed up. So that is 2 wheels either side. Accidentally drilled through top there, so we've got to fill that with something. And the rear all looks good. We haven't lost the clip. And we'll probably have to kind of source some tyres looking at that motley collection we've got there. So next up is the polishing. I'm going to start with my usual wire wheel. I'm not going to film it. I normally speed it up anyway. I'll just tell you what series of brushes I went through, but normally I use a red or a green brush. That's a worn out one. And I use the pointed end of a worn out one to get into the corners. So I won't film that. It takes quite a while, and you've seen it before. Well, we're just through the first stage of polishing, and what I hadn't realised is this cab has lost part of the rear bumper there. So that's going to have to be a repair. But we're back with our machinery carrier. This Bedford cab has suffered quite a bit. There's a lot of pitting there at the front. I don't know if you can see that. What I've done with the front bumper, that was really pitted. So I went over with one of these wheels, put on your multi-tool, just moved it off that way. I didn't want to fill it all, it was that bad. And I did the same going around the edges of the trailer, because there's plenty to play with, and it just gets them leveled and takes all those chunks out that they've missed. And I did the same down here as well, because there was a circle there that shouldn't have been there. So I've tidied that up. Now, what I've done, the worst part here, is this rear wheel arch. So I've cut a normal piece of card, fits in, because there's an overlap there if you look, fits in. I'm going to glue that in till it's level there, then I'm going to fill that out. I don't think I'm going to try and create this. I'm not sure if this was number plate holder. It looks more like that than rear lights, but I can just dip the rear lights on with a bit of paint cab. So the next one is to get this super glued into there. So we'll just get a bit of glue. Right, here we go. Just put that in there. Straight in the bin. Get this in. It don't matter if it were too long, because obviously I can always snip it off. Now I've made it a bit long there. So what I'll do is I'll just push that down. Don't know if you can hear that, but there's a huge rainstorm just started here. That'll go off, and then we can fill this, get it looking decent. What we're also going to have to do, we're have to smear a bit, certainly the roof of the cab, even though I've been over that with some harsh sandpaper, some harsh emery cloth, it's not come back, and certainly at the front. So we've got our filler ready to go in a second. Right, here we go with the filler. So one of these little clay tools, moulding tools here. We've got this sort of lip on the outside to recreate as well. A fair bit there. Be able to work with that. And we want some smeared on our cab. Into view now. Well, hopefully you've just seen me do some filler work on the cab. Built up the rear mudguard and the lip on the arch, smoothed round all the pit holes on the body, and fill that hole where a nail was. Similarly, a bit of work on that rear axle and a bit of work on the truck at the back. Plus I've filled that hole in that we had. This goes on there. So all looking good at the moment. Now here we are with our machine carrier trailer, and I did mask this off before painting it, so I want to get the tape off now. Corner. It's nice. Easy mask this one, quite straight. Now the original trailer should have been sprayed silver, but I'm not getting on with silver paint at the moment, so I decided to go for the grey. And I didn't want the base of the trailer to be silver either anyway. So I certainly didn't want it to be grey, that is a fact. So that's all off, and as you can see in the background, got these furniture touch-up marker pens, and this is walnut, and I'm off to do the base of the trailer in that because I think it would have been wooden. And we'll get on with that. Let's see if we can get an authentic colour. There you go, you get a bonus flyby in this video. So let's just have a look. Put a bit on there first. I think we'll have to use a combination of pens here. This one looks a bit dry. I'll get this first coat down with this pen, and then I'll show you what happens with the next pen. Let's hope it works out. Okay, that's the first coat on. We'll go on now with a bit of oak. See, that's going on a lot better. Right, I'll carry on with that off camera. We'll take a look in a minute. Right, there is our completed flatbed. A bit of touching up to do. I used the mahogany in the end. Thought it should be quite dark, a hardwood, and quite pleased with the outcome really. So still a bit of work to do, maybe touch up around there, but pleased with that. Well, as you can see, we're back with our machinery low loader. Still got things to do, but the cab has been sprayed in this Auto Extreme blue gloss, which to be honest has been horrible to put on. I had 2 goes at it, so prefer the beautiful blue by Colour It. The base has had this light grey by Colour It, gloss finish and trailer to the various parts. The rear wheels, holder, black satin, all on a white primer, and just a clear gloss coat over them. Now what remains to be done is give these wheels a polish, and I think we can go straight to the auto sole. Remember, I put the rear ones in this bag, so I think the next thing to do is get on with those wheels, and then we can start to look at the cab, which is quite good. Just going straight in with the auto sole to see if that will do it first. There we go. Just that quick buzz there seems to have done it pretty good. Yeah, we'll get away with just the auto sole if I show you a before and after there. So what I'll do is turn that round, polish the other side even though you don't see it. Bit on. I'll show you this one and then I'll do the rest off camera. What I do then is just get a paper towel or an old cloth, just give it a wipe, and nicely done. And notice both axles need a bit of straightening, so I'll do that off camera too. Well, as you can see, our wheels have come up really nice. So is the post that goes there. Found this spare trailer, I got it a while ago. It's got 2 tyres on which look original, so that's useful. It hasn't got the spring at the back, it's got something else. I polished the spring as well. Anyway, let's take our attention to the glass. So I've got some soapy water next to me, and I'm starting off with a bit of 1200. There's a couple of big scratches on the front here. I'm hoping to get rid of those. That's obviously going to take some time. I'll start with a 1200. As soon as I've got those clear, I'll drop down to some 2000, 2.5, and some 3 and 4 to see if I can get this out. So I'll do that off camera. Okay, I've been through the various wet and dry papers, and I've used my nail file from number 3 up to number 6. I'm now just going to put on a bit of auto salt, give it that final going over. The crack's not gone, unfortunately, but it is subdued. And let's get some auto salt around there. What I like to do is use this little multi-tool on number 1. You're not going to burn the glass. It's quicker than doing it by hand. Just remember, keep it moving. That's the key. Even though I don't think this would burn the glass at this speed, it's best to keep it moving. What we'll do is give the inside a bit of a polish as well. It's got fingerprints on it, etc. just finish that off by hand and then we'll dip it in the floor polish. Tap it off and there you are, look, a lot better than it was. You can still see a slight scratch on the left of the screen there, but looking pretty good, so pleased with that. Right, we're just drilling a hole now for the steering wheel with this hand vise. Now this was a baking soda and super glue finish. Out through our little wheel, pop it in. It's not too bad, that's not going to look too out of place. What we'll do is give this a clean and we'll probably, seeing as I've forgotten to paint it black, I'll probably just marker pen it black. That'll get us a bit quicker down the road. Right, here we go, I've got my favourite Sharpie marker pen out. Quick work of this, I'm sure. Here we are, just coloured the interior with a marker pen. All that remains is to push the steering wheel in. There it goes. Put a bit of glue behind it and she'll be fine. What I did do is just get them all toe pen, put a couple of lobs on centre of the steering wheel and a few dials just to lift it a bit. Well, here we are with our Bedford, and it's time to do a bit of detailing. Now, a lot of these trucks have a lot of different schemes. You can have a black bumper, you can have black fenders, black mudguards, that's around there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do front bumper in some black satin. Once I'm using the brush, not the black marker pen. Right, that looks okay, let's pull that off. We've got a really nice line there. I think I could have done it that good freehand. So we can put that on its roof. So we'll leave that there and we'll get the tyres out in a second. Right, let's take a look at our tyres, shall we? So we've got to get a few good ones out of here. Let's have a sort. Now we need 4 of the same for the front cab. And I think they were this style. 1, 2, 5 of them. For this rear, we'll need another 4. I don't know, they were too big. Could put 2 of those on the inside, 2 of those on the outside. At least it looks like it'll match. But I'll try some of these on the axle first. They look too big. What we could do them is, and certainly that's where they came from, was on there. So I'll just dry those off with a paper towel. So they're covered in silicone at the moment. Give them a nice shine, rejuvenates them. I'll dry the rest off camera. Okay, I've tried one of these tyres on. It's okay. It's got a bit of red paint on, so I'm just going to Sharpie marker that. This tie's alright apart from that. These are the cab tyres. for the same. Let's get them on there. Best side face side out. So that's them done. Now let's just try one of these on the axle. So what we're having, I think, bigger tyre on the outside. Now it's gone on okay, it's not as tight as those. So will it be okay on the axle? Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. And I'm pretty sure some of these were on originally, and they're even bigger. And they shouldn't have been on. They're loose on the axle, so they're non-starters. They can go in the spare tyre box, all too big. And I think we'll mix and match. So we'll have the bigger ones on the outside, which are okay. Then oh, now that should have that on the outside, that side. So the two soft ends are inward pointing. I have to tap that down actually. Right, hopefully I've videoed getting those two on there. So let's put them through the axle now. Just give that hammer off camera actually, a slight bend there still. Right, we've knocked the kink out of that. That one's going that way. It ain't going to be easy this actually. Not sure whether to use me punch or try and fit it in my little vise, which will be at full stretch. I think I'll try and put it in the vise off camera first to see if that'll work. No, my little vise ain't going to go wide enough for this axle. I'd have to go to the main normal size vise, which is further down the garage, so I won't be able to film that, to be quite honest. It's a bit crowded. So let's get this back. Let's get some cloth under there. We don't really want to scratch the paint. And we'll just give that a little tap first. Right, that's gone on. So now that tap to get it past. Let's go in. Gone. Now we can put on the next one. Give that a tap with a bit of wood this time. We don't want it to go all the way through. That's gone on quite easily, that one. Remove that. Right, so let's get a tyre on the inside. I think there's one of these. Probably saw me getting a inner tyre on there. That's a bit faffy. It's outer one on. Trim in there. That's fine. some fingerprints on there. We'll have to give that a polish. Yes, that's first part of assembly. We can take a look at the rest of the tray. Let's move this cloth out of the way. Okay, I think I'm going to glue this. It would be possible, I think, to drill into those posts. But I think we're better off with the glue. So let's get some glue out. Just want it around posts. A bit better blob on that one. There we go. In the bin. Got everything on right. We checked it already fits and works. Hey. So yeah, I'm better from this angle. Pretty easy movement. You can see now it's like a shape for that to go in. You can't get it wrong. They should move. There's a bit of paint on them at the moment. They're wearing. And that's okay. Could have put some glue along there with hindsight. On the inside there was a rail. That's going to hold. Now, got this top piece to do the same. And if you get it on the wrong way, see these are not in the middle. So if I do it the wrong way first time, which I think is that way, it won't fit low. So I've got to have it the right way, which is going to be that way. Just need to take a bit of paint off, and of course we need our post underneath. So I'll just get a little file on that, take that paint off the edges. Here we are. So we've got our post. Right way. No, it's the other way. You heard that snap. It snapped into place underneath. It's a really tight fit. We don't even have to glue that if we don't want to. Just pushed it in. What I will do is I will put a drop of super glue on that. Leave that there to dry off. Right, our glue's dried. So we can get our trailer on. Just holding it there as a precaution really. So number plate at the back. Go. Get it under that get it under that clip, and you just have to give that a little hold down to get it started. There we go. And she's on. She's going to be fine. Now I've toyed with detailing these like chevrons. Might do that later. Incidentally, I didn't say that is colour it orange. Can do. Got 2 spare tyres. Can get those on. We had oversized tyres before, remember? So that is our trailer looking pretty. Okay, we've got some decals out the rear of this trailer. So we've got a number plate in 2 bits. Got one for the front there. Got these reflective signs. I think what we'll do first is perhaps get the rear lights on. So I've been round the edge of these with a Sharpie marker pen, a black pen. We don't want white edges showing on model. Here we go. Here's our first light. Put it on this side. Hopefully you saw me put that one on. I think actually that should have gone on the other side. I think that's the indicator should be on the outside, so we'll quickly flip that over. Do that. Of course, we've got a bit further down. Here we go with the other side. Got to get these level. Looks like I've done a bad job there. That one just must come up a bit. Bit of water on it. Just dried out faster than I expected that. It's not too bad. Too bad. Now we can get these reflective stripes, what might call them, on. Here we go with our first stripe. There we have our rear light cluster. Well, we've just finished our trailer, so we can get a few decals on the cab now, and I think we'll start off with the Bedford at the front. I'm going to put there, partly because though that Bedford sort of lettering there, that's more or less disappeared. Even after the first coat of primer, that was really indistinguishable. Right, here we go with our first decal on clear. That's my third attempt at that. The D got curled over on the first one, and I managed to somehow snap it on the second attempt. Really, we want the F in the middle there. It's okay. Pleased with that. Now we have our number plate. Yeah, that's okay. Now, what I did do was try and do the Bedford badge. So let's see how that looks, shall we? Right, so we've got a Bedford badge to try and put on the front there. Not sure if I'm going to use it. Actually, it doesn't look too bad on. Bit of microsol on that, I think. Well, that's the front of our cab sorted. Obviously, got the headlights to do. I'm going to have to paint them. I've got some indicators. Can do the back now, and I've got a rear set of light clusters for each side. So they can go on next. So here we go with the first one. On. Second one. Then we can line them up. Number plate at the back on this side. The other side needs to be a bit higher. Let's just get a bit of water on it. Mobile. Just judging it by eye, that looks pretty good. Over. It's okay. So yeah, I've just marker pen the number plate there. A bit too small to actually put a printed plate on. Right, I've got schools out. On now. Now, I just wonder when truckers did start doing the decorations and the writings, etc., on the back of their trucks. This is a mid-70s truck, so can't remember myself the mid-70s much about trucks. So here we go. Got an Alice Cooper tribute. School's out to go on. Go, just slide it on. That's our little cab more or less done. Okay, I've decided against peening the wheels on, partly because these are really thick axles and it just wasn't happening. So I've gone back to what I prefer now. Got a small bolt, you can see they're in the edge of the frame, and I'm going to glue that onto the axle. So let's get the first one on, shall we? Getting that little bolt onto the end there. Really job in itself. Got that small bolt on the end there, we're just giving it a knock. So yeah, it's okay. And I'll dare lift this one over because I know that's a good fit. So get the other side done. Right, now all that remains to do is just drop a blob of super glue onto each end. That's done. And let that go off. There. Wheels are still turning. thing you don't want is the super glue running down the axle, of course. Right, we're on with assembly of our cab, and these mirrors are proving to be a bit of a problem. They're hard to get to look nice, and I've tried bending them and they don't want to. One side's going to look odd to the other. It's like it's been clipped in a crash. Get our glass in. There, that's clipped. See, one's down. We won't worry too much about it. I've had a few goes at this. That's one of the better looking attempts. In with our interior. Then our base goes forward with that tab into a hole. Then just clicks on. Then I've got a little bolt to put in there. Put it in with my hands as far as I can. Then get going with this. And she's together. Not too bad looking. Now, off camera I did do the door handles with a little pen in chrome. What I've got to do is these front lights, so that's the next job. So we'll go freehand on these lights. Just come down a bit on that side. I think it's getting them symmetrical. Yep, I'll do those door handles again. I've got this out. The pen didn't really work. Now, I think we've got some indicators at the front to do. Probably do that off camera, and then you can take a look at it all on the turntable. This is what we started with: a one Bedford tractor unit and universal machine carrier trailer. Both had seen better days. Glass looked good, wing mirrors were present, maybe new tyres. Anyway, without further ado, let's see how we got on, shall we? Because here it is now. Here is our Bedford TK with the machine carrier trailer by Corgi. A few extra details added on the trailer. The trailer went really well, to be honest. The cab, not so well. That blue paint was a devil to apply. A few extra touches there with the decals and a bit of highlighting you may not have seen. The Bedford TK defined the medium truck segment in the UK in the 1970s. The truck itself was produced in various forms from 1960 to 1994. It was a flatbed, a troop carrier, which was a 4x4 for military use, fire engine, horse box, recovery vehicle, tipper truck, and probably one of the many unique variants, it was a pole king for installing telegraph poles for the GPO. It had various engines made by Bedford, Leyland, Perkins and Mercedes, petrol and diesel, 4 and 6 cylinder, putting out 72 to 148 brake horsepower when it was turbocharged. It was just over a 5-ton vehicle and over 500,000 were made. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed this video. It's nice to get back doing a commercial, and I look forward to seeing you next week with another restoration. So take care and don't forget to subscribe and like. It does help the video and the channel get pushed out to more people. So bye for now. I leave you with the Bedford TK. Now let's come up. That's come up pretty good, so we can dump it in our pledge.